Boom, episode 2. Welcome back. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment below if you like or want to see anything else. So,
thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 2 of NFT Party. We round up all the NFT. I'm a little bit far from my mic here. NFT news and upcoming projects.
Just general opinions, really, as well.
Just two guys having a chat about NFTs. Nothing
guys.
weird about that. Okay, sweet. Let's kick this off with something we've been posting about on our Instagram quite a bit. And I won't use the word backlash as such, but we've been getting quite a few comments.
Yeah.
I'm going to say backlash because there's a lot of people that are just internet warriors.
There's
Just
so many of them, actually. Who are just commenting negative, who just comment negative stuff from kind of a place of ignorance as well, which is, it doesn't really do much for them. It doesn't make them look great.
Yeah, but on the topic of NFT ticketing,
swiftly moving on.
Well, I didn't actually say what we were talking about. We've just been getting a lot of comments on that topic. So we thought we'd just start off this whole episode with NFT ticketing.
Yeah.
Because Veecon has obviously just happened, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah, which looks sick.
But yeah, so basically we posted a couple of reels, or you had actually, talking about physical use cases for NFTs going forward. We're starting to see a little bit of it now.
Yeah.
Veecon was the first NFT ticketed event ever, which is, a massive step forward for NFTs in general. But a lot of people were not understanding why NFT ticketing is a step up and an improvement on, physical paper tickets or like barcodes, QR codes, etc.
I think something people need to understand is that, like, they're going to use. Think about it. Yeah, when I was at uni in Manchester, and there's a festival in Manchester that's like pretty much every year. It's called Parklife. People from Manchester will know about it. And I remember being at uni, and like, if we didn't have a ticket, you'd go on like Facebook Marketplace or something to try and get one. Anyway, you'd meet up with some person, get the ticket off them, and then you ended up, and this happened to like a few of my mates as well, went to the actual event. I'm pretty sure this happened. This did happen to me. I'd bought something off someone, turned up to Parklife, tried to use that ticket that I've got, and it was a fake. So, which is quite funny really, because that for me is firstly one of the major use cases for NFT ticketing is the fact that it's instantly verifiable and you don't need that like paper.
Instantly takes
receipt.
fakes out of the equation.
Yeah, because all they have to do, it's already on the blockchain. Like, they can literally just see that you own that and it's the real deal. So then you can just go in and there's no problems there.
Instantly sorts out the secondary market as well. Because the ticketing industry does have a massive problem with, I think they call it scalpers in the UK.
Scalpers?
Scalping, when people are reselling, they buy a load of tickets and then they just sell them at a crazy markup.
Oh, yeah.
Like a massive artist, for instance, I don't know, like Coldplay or Kanye or something like that. They'll buy a load of tickets and then sell them at like 500 quid, like a grand, extortionate prices. Obviously, this, again, instantly solves that problem because it's impossible. And then obviously, when you're scalping as well, if you're selling a ticket for £1,000 that's actually only face value of 100 quid, the artist doesn't make any profit or any kind of cut on the £900 if you're selling it for £1,000. That you'd be selling it for. So the reseller's getting a load of profit. The artist isn't benefiting whatsoever. So again, just like we see with NFT.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that actually. Which should be the main point with like NFTs in general. It's
literally one of the main points, and it's just the same as selling NFT collectibles. The artist benefits and takes the cut from the secondary. Like,
imagine like Glastonbury and like festivals now, like how much money they take anyway, how much more they'll take off secondary sales that are marked up.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, I guess it'd be written in the smart contract of the tickets whether I don't know whether you will be able to mark it up or whether
you would, surely. If it's an NFT, if it's an NFT and you've got it and you own it, you could sell it. Surely.
So why would it change?
Yeah, so the reselling factor of like the value going up doesn't matter, but the giving back to the event or the artist or whoever's in it does.
Well, my thoughts were as well that my third point actually in this whole topic is that it makes tickets instantly transferable.
Yeah.
So tickets currently, you have like a name on the ticket, right?
Yeah.
When you buy it for a show or an event or whatever, and you in many cases have to provide ID. Now, obviously, they don't always enforce that. If when you turn up to a stadium or whatever, they don't always necessarily enforce seeing ID of the same name on the ticket, but they can.
Yeah.
And that does happen. So by having NFT ticketing, you can literally just transfer the ownership of the ticket straight away.
That's so
and
true.
It's identifiable. So there's no issue.
Yeah, because I know you're going to get the counter argument for people who are kind of ignorant to it, being, you could just email like the PDF ticket, but
you
it's
can't
different
because the name is then on that ticket.
Exactly.
So I think maybe with some ticketing services you can change the name on the ticket, maybe, but it instantly solves that problem as well.
And that can still be faked as well.
Yeah, of course. But my other thought then with would they allow markups on the tickets, being maybe some people don't allow markups on their tickets and they want to be altruistic and no profits made on the secondary or anything like that.
That would be cool.
And the ticket's like maybe a flat £100, $100, whatever the ticket might be, and you can transfer it, but you can't mark it up. And that would be written in the smart contract, wouldn't it?
That's true.
Another use case for smart contracts.
And kind of like rewards from having the ticket itself. So like if that ticket's and been made into an NFT, then obviously if you're still going to own that asset in your wallet post event. So it's also the fact that, there's 2 points to that. It's going to become a memorable collectible.
You still have the memorabilia.
So it's like, which could, like imagine you went to the Beatles, I don't know, years and years ago, like one of their first ever event or something, and you still had that ticket.
Yeah, man.
I collect
tickets. I've got loads of tickets in my bedside drawer.
Well, this is just going to make it even more sick, and you don't have to worry about it getting shredded up or I don't know. I mean, there's an argument for and against it being tangible and non-tangible, but still, I think.
Well, listen, I mean, maybe there will be the interchangeable thing. We're seeing a lot of trends with physical redemptions by having the NFT, and again, that's something we'll get onto with the KIF and Invisible Friends project. But you have the NFT, and you can redeem the physical product, Bricktopins and the Brain Boot.
That's true, actually.
So there's a massive argument.
And I guess you by owning that, they could also reel out. I mean, think about it. Glastonbury Festival could come up with a Genesis project that. They auctioned off that gave you access to 10 years worth of the festival, because it can be quite hard. It can be quite hard to get that
or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be sick,
amazing.
You could get all sorts of stuff. You could have access to the glamping side of it or something weird. That would be mad actually, because I reckon it can be hard to get tickets for those festivals as well. So they would be worth quite a bit. I reckon.
So there you go, instantly, which is what we've reeled off all the benefits of why NFT ticketing is going to be huge. And as well, there was I didn't verify this, but I did see it. I think it was doing the rounds on Twitter.
Yeah.
An NFT gate.
NFT
turnstile.
Yeah.
Where you flash your NFT up to the thing and it could read it, whatever, and then let you go through the gate. Now, I didn't verify that, so I don't know if that is fully true, but this is what I saw. And it was around time with Veecon, well. So I'm assuming it would
make sense
at Veecon. I might even try and get a visual and put it on the video or something, but
I did see that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I think it just verified you own that NFT. And moving into Veecon, actually, Veecon looked sick. I mean, from what I've seen snippets of it from online, because he could have made it just about V-Friends. It could have been all about him. But from my understanding, he invited project owners from Subducks, Cool Cats, all these different projects, and really showed that kind of community and looking out for it. Projects can coexist and should be looking out for each other, rather than just being no, we're in competition with one another and I'm better than you and all this stuff. So
he talks about that quite a bit, doesn't he, Gary?
And and it just goes to show as well how many notable people are actually thinking about this and getting into it. And remember, these notable people hold the power of influence. So it's in terms of mainstream adoption, all these people, I think Eva Longoria was there, Mila Kunis, Snoop Dogg.
Was there, yeah. Did Snoop perform, or was he just there?
I don't know. I saw him talking about his Bored Ape.
Yeah, he was dressed in Bored Ape gear, wasn't he? Top to bottom. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's funny, mate.
Whether that's a bit like geeky or whether that's actually sick. Did you see they had like an NFT? You know, in arcades you have like the crane grabber game.
Yeah.
When you win toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see the NFT machine of that?
No.
It was sick. That? It was sick. Basically, you paid in ETH.
Yeah. ETH.
Stop doing that, bro. Stop it, man.
We've said
Jack
that. I've said that my
Jack
son's
loves
going to be
ETH
called
so much, he's going to call his son Ethan. And if it's a girl, it's going to be called Ethel. Yeah. So anyway, there's this crane game at... he's still going. He's in a silly mood, isn't he, today?
That was in a jest.
Stop it, anyway, let me actually get my point in there. Because
back to Ukraine.
Yeah, so there was one of these crane like vending machine things, and you paid in ETH.
Yeah.
And then you could win NFTs. So if whatever you grab, I don't know what you were physically
really, that's actually sick.
Yeah, I saw Dippy's posting about it.
Imagine me in an arcade on one of them.
It's your actual dream. Like, it's his actual dream. You get to pay for something in ETH, which makes him happy, full stop. And he wins NFTs.
Yeah, that would be sick, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, Dippy's posted about it.
That's a really good idea.
I know Dippy's was in the machine. There was like loads of projects that had got their things in the machine.
Who'd bought them? Gary?
Your mate Gaz. I don't know who'd bought them or who'd put them in, but I'm assuming it was just collab with a load of projects.
Fair.
Yeah, so there was loads that you could win from
it did look really, really sick there. And I think like the networking game, I think I was watching a YouTube video about it. I can't remember the channel, but two of the people in it had attended, and they were just saying that there was no like the whole overall vibe was like really community based. Like everyone was like networking, like happy to be there, happy to meet each other, which was nice. Really,
because for anyone that doesn't know as well, to get into Veecon, the only people that were there, you were either invited or you had to hold an NFT for V Friends Series 1.
Yeah.
So it's like small. He had it in a stadium, but it was a small group of.
It was in Minneapolis, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, it looked really good, and there was a lot of, I'd say, like firsts, like pioneering things happening.
Yeah.
Like we said, particularly in the way of the ticketing. So. It just kind of follows on from that point nicely about the NFT ticketing.
It's interesting.
IP rights, bro. Let's move on. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Are you going to say something there? Or?
No. I just think it's sick, and I hope. I just really want to try and help people understand where we think it's going. So I think NFT ticketing is one.
Yeah. But I mean, on the topic of the ticketing, real quick before we move on, all the comments we've been getting on Instagram when we've been kind of posting educational stuff. It's just people not understanding and not seeing where it's going.
That's what I mean, and I think it's important because it's like there's always opportunity and new innovation, and it's always like until it becomes like this is one of my points here. Before something becomes mainstream adopted, everyone kind of dislikes it. It's like, you know, remember when like Facebook or Instagram will change the layout, and like I'll be like, I'll go on there. You like randomly it'll get changed. Everyone's like, "What's going on?" Like,
especially
this
you
is shit.
Hate change, mate. Yeah. You hate it.
But you go on there and you're like, "What's going on? Like, where's the home button or something?" And then like you figure it out. And within like 2 days, no one cares anymore, and it's just accepted.
Yeah, sure.
And that's the cycle. So it's more about trying to educate people to be like, these are to get you thinking about opportunities that you could go after, basically. But,
I mean, I'm almost sick of giving this example now, but at one point people were calling the internet a fad when that was new. People thought it was going to be a flash in the pan and gone. Same for social media, and it's just the same pattern repeating itself.
I think the media highlights all the negativity about it rather than the good, which is obvious. Like that always happens, but don't get too caught up in that. Like, do your own research and look into it yourself and figure it out for yourself, because there is a lot of opportunity, and there is a lot of shit out there as well, and a lot of scams and things like that. So yeah, but it's still sick. So
yeah, quite right.
But yeah, IP rights, man. I think
IP rights and the Bored Ape situation.
Well, we start off with that actually. So for those who don't know, Seth Green, who's basically quite a well-known actor, he had recently written like a comedy show that featured his Bored Ape in. I think Gary Vee was like starring in it as well. Like I saw
I've
a
seen
clip
it.
out of
There's
it.
like quite a few.
They're in like a
celebrities
pub or
it.
something,
Yeah.
and he recently was like subject to like I think it was like they call it like a phishing attack, but he clicked like a scam link, and I think he connected his wallet. He must have signed off on something, and they basically stolen his wallet. His ape.
His Bored Ape, yeah, which is worth a hell of a lot of money. But the problem is for him is Bored Ape holders can, when they hold their ape, they can use the IP, they can use the design, the image of that to make whatever they want. There's like a dude that started a restaurant with his Bored Ape on the chip packets and the cups and stuff. You can put like Snoop was wearing. That's why Snoop was able to wear t-shirts, hoodies, and his hat with his Bored Ape on it, because he owns the IP rights to that Bored Ape. Now the problem obviously is that Seth Green has built an entire show around his ape. His ape is starring in the show, and his ape's now been stolen. So
his ape's been stolen and sold. So someone else has bought it. I think he's called Darkwing84 on Twitter.
Yeah.
So now Seth Green's on Twitter atting him all the time, trying to get it back. Like loads of people have atted this guy, and I thought like the community would really get behind him. So I checked out this Darkwing on Twitter. Yeah. And he's like some street photographer. I think he's put stuff out on OpenSea. Yeah, it looked quite cool.
Yeah.
And all the comments below is like, "Fuck Seth Green, don't give it." It's like don't give it him back, bro. Like all this sort of stuff.
Why?
I don't know, mate.
What's he done?
I was really shocked because I thought people would be like, "Yo, bro, you gotta give it back or work something out with him because he's trying to work it out." But everyone was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
They were like, "Keep that." They were like, "Hodl that shit, bro."
Why did...
Oh shit, mate. That's so jokes.
But that's actually savage.
Yeah, I know.
Well, again, just to spell it out for people, the problem is now Seth Green technically cannot use that Bored Ape in his show, which has already been produced.
Yeah, because he doesn't own the IP for it.
So if he was to put that out, Darkwing could actually sue him.
Yeah, Darkwing could sue him.
Which is, bro, the ethics on that are mad. And this goes back to what you said earlier as well, is like, because we're going to talk about safety and wallets being hacked and stuff, because that is crazy at the moment, and this is just a massive high-profile example of that.
Yeah,
but you're on your own. Like one of the amazing things about the decentralized system is that you're not beholden to middle. What do you call them?
Just like
intermediaries. Yeah. So that's a perk, massive perk. But obviously,
keeps you in control. So like if you didn't want to. If you wanted to cash funds out or deposit funds or whatever, then you don't have to ask permission for anyone.
Exactly. But the flip side of that is you get your shit stolen.
You're on your own.
You're on your own, mate.
Yeah, there's only so much. Like OpenSea did actually, I think, and have done when NFTs and things have been reported stolen, they've put like a warning sign next to that particular NFT, and that's like all they can do. To like make people aware that these could be stolen assets. But
so what's the upshot with what's his name?
Darkwing. I don't know what he's going to do. Darkwing. No, he mate, I'm telling you, his street photography looks sick. So I don't know. He just hasn't said anything. And like, because he paid 200k for it. So,
Jesus.
And Seth Green has said that I think he's saying, I'd like to speak. He's very well versed in like IP law or something, things like this. So he was saying that he would rather speak out and deal with Darkwing. It is Darkwing, isn't it? Yeah, Darkwing84. That before he'd take it to court or anything like that. So like he's clearly sweating, and like people are there like, yeah, make him sweat, bro. Like all this shit. But he, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't actually said anything.
I mean, literally legally, he's done nothing wrong.
No, he hasn't.
He's just. I mean, ethically, you can make a different argument. That's a different story, but
legally, only now he wouldn't have known before. Do you know what I mean? He would have just bought a Bored Ape.
Oh yeah, I suppose he wouldn't have, would he?
No. So now he just owns something that was stolen by someone else that he probably didn't realize it was. I mean, legally, if they could prove that he did know it was stolen, that's when it could become an issue. But this is one of the problems. But just to linger back onto the point of IP rights, one big thing, because like George said, people can like create these restaurants, create these things, and it's because you literally own the IP. And the reason that is like exciting is because Bored Ape, for example, is already such a big brand. Like, people outside of the space even know what it's about. It's got such good awareness. It's got such big reach. So using that as a marketing tool to build your own product, you can start to realize how powerful that could be. So that's like the main reason why IP rights is a huge thing, and projects giving that to people. I mean, it only really becomes valuable when the project becomes huge, because before, like, you can't create a project, give them IP rights, and it's not really going to be that valuable until the brand's big. But it's a like a symbiotic relationship, because if all of the community are going off and creating things based on this project, then they're single-handedly blowing up the brand awareness for the project. And if the project just gets big through its endorsements or like people it works with, then it's helping people with the IP. So it really is that back and forth of community and project owner and the team behind the project.
Yeah. I want to know what Seth Green's done to make.
You're thinking about Seth Green, bro.
Yeah, I'm just like, why is he getting so much hate?
I don't know, mate. I just think people found it quite funny.
I mean, I've never really like been gassed about his stuff, but I did think this.
To be honest, I didn't have a clue who Seth Green was until I looked into him, and then I was like, "Oh, what's he actually in?" I can't even remember what he's actually in that I've seen.
Yeah, I know his face, but I don't know what he was in as such. But this is probably a good chance to segue into wallet safety and scams, which are here. Like one of our boys got one of his NFTs stolen recently.
Yeah.
Like Discord's being hacked all the time at the moment.
And it's all well and good thinking it's not going to happen to you, but honestly, people who are well versed that have been in the space for a long time are getting things done, because it's so easily done. You become so accustomed to connecting your wallet to things and all the things you have to do. So, I mean, like you said, if a Discord get hacked that you trust and throws out a link that says, oh, they're doing some drop now, you've got to get it by connecting your wallet, then you're not necessarily going to believe it's a hack, because the owners of the Discord might not even know it's been hacked until after people have had their things stolen. So
yeah, I mean, like newbies as well, you don't know any better as soon as you jump in. So if you've, I don't know, maybe you bought some NFTs straight away and then you've got into the Discord side of things.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got into it, and you'd already been into it a couple of months by that point.
Yeah.
And I got, you tend to get DM'd quite a bit by lots of projects when people see you in projects.
Yeah.
And they DM you with scam links looking like the Discord, like they try and put the official Discord branding on their DM and
also
stuff.
Like, congratulations, you've
won something, or we're minting now and things. I got messaged with that, do you remember? And I messaged you being like, bro, I think I can't remember what project it was.
Yeah, I do remember.
No, actually, I was like, bro, I think they're minting now. And he was like, mate, they're not. Don't click it. Never click anything in Discord that's not in the official servers. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow.
Not even from your mates, because you don't know. Unless it's like you're having that conversation with them back and forth.
Yeah, you've got to be really, really careful.
Really careful, man.
In Discord DMs, though, it's the private DMs that I think are the really malicious ones.
And you're going to get bombarded with them. So the best thing to do is really turn off your message notifications. Yeah, literally. They fly. It's ridiculous. But there's So
what can somebody do if they want to take steps to make sure they're not going to lose their NFTs?
Right. So there's a few things, and it's like, well, I mean, we'll make an actual video about like an educational video on how to set your MetaMask up and how to do some of these things, but knocking them off the top of my head. The things that I know, and the number one most effective thing to make sure that your NFTs don't get stolen, or your crypto, whatever's in that MetaMask wallet, is basically get yourself a cold wallet, which is a hardware wallet, like a ledger. So I think literally like ledger.com has got like the Nano X, I think I've got. And you transfer your NFTs to, it looks like a USB stick. And because it's not connected to the internet, it's just stored for you. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And it's got the seed phrase is basically a lot longer, things like that. It's hard to get into, but it's never going to be in your wallet if it's in your hardware wallet.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression people are getting their NFT stolen mostly because they're clicking links, and connecting their wallet to whatever page they get sent to, right?
Yeah.
So how does having a cold wallet stop that?
Because you wouldn't store, if you're storing,
you wouldn't be storing them in the MetaMask.
If you're storing, like think about it like this, yeah. If you had 20 NFTs and you're storing all of them in your hot wallet, which is the one you connect to sites and do all this stuff.
Being MetaMask, right?
Yeah, just like the MetaMask connected to the internet that has your stuff in it. Okay. So for example, if you do end up clicking a link, like you shouldn't store all of your valuable NFTs in your hot wallet, because then it's susceptible if you do fall victim to that scam. So basically it's covering the fact that your most valuable NFTs will be in this hardware wallet, so they're not going to be connected. Like that's things like you could be holding.
Got you.
So that's like the first and foremost. Like if you really are collecting and you're like collecting things of value, you should definitely get a ledger.
I suppose unless you're listing them, there's no reason for them to be in a hot wallet, is there?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're listing them, though, I'm assuming they have to stay in the hot wallet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, I know what I'm doing as soon as we get off here. Then. Have you got one?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. I'm getting one.
So the other thing is if you haven't got one and you don't do that, just all you have to do is, so you're gonna have like your main account that like you've got your recovery phrase to get into, and then you can add accounts to the MetaMask that have like their own keys. They have like their own private keys to access them. So like you note down that key because sometimes they disappear. And then you can transfer ETH. I mean, the only problem with this is like the gas fee and stuff. But if you can basically have a burner wallet, call it your burner wallet, and just use that to connect to everything else.
Okay.
That's something that I do and some of my mates do. Like I'm not 100% that that's foolproof, but I think it is. So that's just another thing you can do. And then the biggest thing overall is just don't click any links that are sus. Like validate them before you do it. And it's not the problem necessarily that you've connected your wallet to, like, you know, there's a button that says connect wallet. Mm-hmm. When you click that, you've connected your wallet, but it's more if you're about to do an action. So like you need to sign off on something, I think. So the main problem is that people are approving something to happen. So my mate, he was on the site. I think he had to like pay a gas fee for something, which is where he had to sign off. So it's like, you know, when you want to sell something on OpenSea and it will say, do you approve this? And it's like sign. Yeah. You click sign. Well, that's the problem. So like a lot of the time, if you were going to mint something, say like a what do you call them? Like a stealth mint came up of something that you wanted to get and no one had heard of it, because these sometimes do really well, as we'll talk about later. Yeah. Then you need to check when that signed thing comes in that it says at the top mint. If it says anything else up there, then there's a problem. Disconnect your wallet quickly. It has to say the thing that you're signing off. So people just need to just slow down a little bit and basically just remove. And if your wallet has become subject to that problem, then the other thing is transfer your NFTs and everything out as fast as you can into a different wallet.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I think the obvious as well, just turn off your DMs on Discord and the preventative methods.
But it's not just that, it's like Twitter. Like if you see a link on Twitter that comes out that's like pinging, and people message you on Twitter as well, and or someone tweets something that's been like Beeple's Twitter account got hacked. You see that?
This feels I didn't see that actually. No,
his Twitter account got hacked, and he had like I think it was like Veecon.com link in his bio, and some people's got stolen. I think off the top of my head, I think it was like 70k worth of stuff, but I'm not sure.
I just think this feels a little bit like, you know how like when your grandparents get emailed by like those really obvious scam letters,
it does feel like,
and you're just like they're just like rolling your eyes because it's like, grandma, don't click that because that's going to get,
or they get phoned up by someone.
Yeah, if your mum's maiden name and your birthday and all that stuff, obvious. But this is like,
it's just so new.
Yeah,
it's so new that people don't understand.
But this is like effectively the new norm, or it will become the new norm for just like general internet safety.
Yeah.
Don't be clicking weird links, people.
Yeah, get away from them.
Simple as that. Okay. Big topic then. Up next, Mr. ETH.
Mr. ETH, the Ethereum Merge.
Yeah, maybe you should change your Twitter name to like Mr. ETH or something. But the Ethereum Merge, man. This is something I'm really quite excited to talk to you about, because I actually don't know as much that much on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not proclaiming to be the expert on it, but I've done quite a lot of reading on it to try and understand it. But effectively, what's happened is there's no date for this. Well, they've said that it might be around August, but they've said before it was coming out a while ago, and they've kind of disappointed people with it not happening.
Right.
But they've called it ETH 2, or it was called ETH 2. Now it's not, because they started to think, they basically started to say that it's too confusing for people. People think that there's an ETH 1 and an ETH 2 and they're two separate things, whereas they're not.
Is it just getting upgraded, basically?
Basically, so it's merging. So there's ETH 1, which they're calling the execution layer. And then there's ETH 2, which they're calling the consensus layer.
Okay.
So the main thing that's happening here is it's moving from like a proof of work model to something called a proof of stake model. So the proof of work model is basically the model we have now in terms of there's miners and they're taking the gas fee. So you have to have mining rigs and things like that to actually propagate the blocks in the chain and deal with, process the transactions and all of that. Whereas what's happening now is people are going to have staking validators that propagate the blocks and do everything that the miners were doing, but they can do it from any server. So rather than you having to have a mining rig, you can have a server. So you could do it from home. Anyone can do it. So, and what's happening is you can stake your ETH. So there's about 10 million ETH plus staked already at the moment, because you're going to get staking rewards off the back of it by staking it.
So that's like what passive income.
So you're basically doing the same job as the miners to a degree and getting the same benefits in terms of earning staking rewards.
But without needing to have like a massive rig.
Without having to have the rig. So the biggest advantage of this, which is like people were saying, lower gas fees, that's not actually true. And the scalability, all that sort of stuff's not actually true.
So there won't be lower gas fees on this?
No, don't think so. Not yet. The huge two things that people are excited about is that the huge thing that people are getting excited about is the fact that 99.95% of the energy used to run these mining rigs is going to be gone. So it's literally that 0.05% in energy is going to be, it's going to use to basically run the staking validators.
So does that equate to, if it's not going to be less gas fees, just generally better for the environment then?
So that's one of the new perks. It's going to be a greener platform by a huge way, because obviously these mining rigs take ridiculous amounts of energy, whereas this is literally going to be run on your like home computer.
Mad.
So we're talking 99.95%. That's insane. Like that much of a reduction. So basically,
so why are people so confused about the gas fees then? Why is everyone saying lower gas fees, etc.?
But I don't know. That's just not one of the facts yet. I'll go into something that's good for that in a minute.
Okay.
But the other point, so it's turned into a much greener platform, and the other point is that the ETH issuance after the merge occurs is dropping by like quite a huge amount. So
what does that mean in English? In basic language, bro.
So basically, the amount of Ethereum that's issued out on a daily basis is, say, dropping from, I think, I watched something that said maybe like 5 million ETH down to like 15,000 ETH a day. And also, effectively, what's happening is the supply, there's going to be a huge supply shock. So
this is why we're saying price going to go.
This is why they're all excited about it, because it's like if the demand stays the same and the supply goes down, well, then what happens? Price goes up. So
absolutely.
So
that element makes sense.
But the problem is like, will the bear market affect it? And because in this video I watched, it was talking about, I think I don't know if it was the CEO of Coinbase, but someone to do with Coinbase had like worked out predictors of how much you could earn off the money staked, and it was talking about like 10% returns. But this is if it works out with if it works out that way with the bear market and things like that. So there's a few factors, but that would be a really nice return. So they were talking about like a lot of firms invest in bulk money in or stake in bulk ETH and things like that. So
better get buying up more ETH, mate.
Well,
especially with the price of it now as well.
The problem is to be a validator for the staking, so the proof of stake.
Yeah.
There's different ways you can be involved in it. Like you can be in like a pooling thing where you don't have that much ETH and you kind of want to get into it. Or like if you want to do it like full blown, like run it, as in like do all the processing, the transactions, propagate the blocks, do all the data storage and all of that, then you have to have 32 ETH. You have to deposit 32 ETH.
Oh, it's quite a high barrier to entry then.
Yeah, basically. But that's where like the returns. But you can imagine some companies putting in hundreds of millions of dollars if they needed to earn 10%.
Yeah, amazing.
So that was like one of the huge points of it. And then obviously to do with like the point about the gas fees, yeah, as far as my understanding goes, and I could be wrong, is that a small portion of the gas fee called the base fee is now burnt, removing this ETH from the circulation. That was the point that was towards the supply shock thing as well. So it's getting burnt, but I think that happens already. But the thing I was saying about the gas fees is there's a load of you've probably seen this quite a few times really, and particularly with like the eBay thing we're about to speak about.
Yeah,
but there's a layer 2. People are building layer 2 solutions on top of.
Yeah, well, layer 2 is a phrase that I'd heard of. So maybe you can break that one down for me because I'm actually not sure what that means.
So basically, people are building like systems or platforms, I guess, on top of Ethereum's blockchain. So Polygon is built on top of Ethereum's blockchain, but Polygon has really low gas fees. So the fact that these layer 2 solutions are coming out, like the platform one of that's built off that. And that's why there's no gas fees on it, because, or low gas fees or whatever it is, because it's built on that, which is alleviating some of the pressure around people moaning about Ethereum's really high gas fees.
So layer 2 is effectively a bit like apps on iOS.
Yeah, but they're all very dependent on Ethereum's blockchain as well.
Okay, yeah, but in the sense that these are other people's iterations and making use of the platform that was provided.
Exactly, yeah, by Ethereum, which is bullish on Ethereum.
Understand.
So yeah, biggest point is
crazy bullish on Ethereum.
Oh mate, big time. Yeah,
Jesus.
It's really, really sick.
All that .eth, those Ethereum name service things we were doing, that's just starting to make even more sense now.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, to round that up then, so basically this merge, why you should be excited for it is the 2 points really. It's going to be a lot greener, so way less energy being used, and secondly, the supply shock, which could cause a huge spike in the price of actual Ethereum.
Yeah.
And with it being down so low right now, I mean, this is not financial advice, but just keep your eyes on and make your own predictions. And if you wanted to get involved in staking, the only negative is that you can't unstake your ETH until after the merge.
Okay, so you're tied in on rails.
Yeah, you're tied in.
Okay,
but there is over 10 million ETH, which is a huge amount of money staked.
And does that actually take it out of circulation when you stake that?
Yeah.
So would that affect supply as well?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Surely would, yeah.
Super interesting. I mean, that's as much as I understand, really. I could be wrong on a few things. So. Yeah.
I'm sure the internet will pick you up on that if you are. So
I'm sure they will, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, bit of a general news roundup now.
Boom. But quick fire.
Yeah, quick fire round. Yeah, let me get this up, man, because let's go. Let's
look
move
on the weakest link or something. Do you remember that?
Van Robinson.
Yeah.
Van Robinson. All right, cool. Let's go straight into MetaPay because Meta have filed a few patents, trademarks.
Meta being the old Facebook, because some people
Meta's
still haven't made that.
Facebook's new name. They've named the whole company Meta with a view to what's coming. But they filed a couple of trademarks for MetaPay. And there's a few theories around what's basically going to be happening with MetaPay.
Yeah.
It's clearly just going to be some kind of cryptocurrency fiat exchange.
Yeah.
But you were saying that you think it's going to be implications for them pushing it in like direction of rivaling Apple Pay and local pay services.
Well, the thing that I read about it was that the tweet from the what's his name, Josh Gerben, off the top of my head, something like that, could be right. He's a trademark attorney, and he'd basically announced this stuff, and he said that. I think he'd basically said that it was a platform in the filings or something like this. So it's basically either going to be a platform based called MetaPay, or it's going to just be, in my opinion, maybe something like Google Pay or Apple Pay, but just MetaPay.
Where it's like super mainstream and you can pay in the shops with like...
Yeah, kind of like their version of a wallet maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, surely gas fees would have had to come down to like negligible by that point. For that to actually be adopted on like a corner shop.
MetaPay, yeah, I guess so.
Facebook have like Facebook Pay already. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. When I was reading about it, and they already do have Facebook Pay. I don't know actually what you even use that for. Or like, I've never used that in my life.
No.
But Facebook Pay supposedly does exist. So
for things to buy on Facebook.
Well, this is why when you
maybe Marketplace, to be fair, but most of that's in cash, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is why at first when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is amazing, especially if they're going to be going like that hardcore to make a financial service or whatever.
Yeah,
like Apple Pay. That'd be amazing, but I'm actually not convinced that it is going to be that, or they're thinking. I mean, who knows? Facebook are like looking years into the future, so maybe they are. But I don't see that happening until gas fees have been like made negligible, realistically. So
yeah, I think we're still aware. They're slowly integrating things, aren't they?
Yeah, my point being though with that Facebook Pay is that it could literally just be a rebrand from Facebook Pay, and they're just like knocking off the old Facebook names now and bringing everything over to the Meta side of things, closer to the Meta brand. So that's kind of where I'm sat with that at the moment. That's kind of
I feel like it's got to be crypto related, especially with them bringing NFTs in.
Yeah,
platform.
Of course. But I mean, as just a general
they're not
like Moon Pay, and like when you're buying stuff on your MetaMask and stuff, maybe it's just going to be another version of that.
There's no way that they're not going to try and capitalize on everything people are doing and do it better. Particularly with they're trying to basically they're basically the ones that are promoting ownership almost of the metaverse, even though the metaverse has been a thing for so long.
Maybe it's got implications for that then, in the sense that they want to be the main exchange platform.
I mean, just calling their brand Meta.
Yeah, you can see that where that's going to go. Yeah. Cool. Veecon, we've already spoken about actually. Do you want to say anything else on Veecon? Do we miss anything?
Not really. I just wish it went.
Sweet. Yeah. So moving on to eBay then. They've just dropped their Genesis collection.
Yeah. Which
we managed to get into. Obviously, eBay have got like a really good brand. They're like a collector's, I don't know, marketplace, but people that like collectibles. Everyone knows eBay, and
everyone knows eBay.
Well, you buy mostly collectibles, especially back in the day. We used to. I know you used to flip stuff off of eBay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I definitely used to flip stuff on eBay. So that's like part of the culture. It makes sense. Part of the culture of flipping and collectibles, and that is what I'm trying to say.
100%.
So eBay dropped their Genesis collection, and they did it on a platform called, what was it?
One Of.
Yeah. Okay. One Of.
So they collaborated with One Of to release this collection. So One Of, for people that don't know, is a platform, like an NFT marketplace, to make NFTs way more accessible to non-crypto users. So you can pay in fiat money, you can pay in like pounds, dollars, you can use a card. Because one of their missions that I think the CEO stated was to bring the next 100 million non-crypto users into the actual space. And I think just from being on their site, I think they've got kind of the foundational groundworks down, like to make that a thing. They just need the eyeballs and the brand awareness. And I think that collaboration with eBay was clever for both of those things. Obviously, eBay's got a huge consumer base, a lot of active users. It's also very mainstream, and having those two collaborate with each other and bringing them in.
Yeah, eBay selling NFTs makes complete sense in terms of their brand. There seems to be a lot of new platforms popping up. I can think of two. There's One Of. It was Royal.io for the music side of things. Yeah. Which was also on Polygon. Yeah. There's LimeWire's one that's coming up as well, which we're going to get into in a bit. Yeah. But there does seem to be a lot of them popping up right now. All seeming to do some really similar things.
Everyone's just trying to grab market share.
Yeah, land grab.
Yeah. But it's like, we'll see who wins. That's why I think a lot of them are using Polygon, because they're trying to bring in new consumers based on the fact that you don't have to pay fees and whatnot. But this collab, so One Of had just collabed with or have a partnership with Sports Illustrated, which is quite cool, because that like sports cards and memorabilia and things like that goes for a lot of money. That this whole collaboration with eBay was about Wayne Gretzky, who is a Canadian hockey player, for those of you that don't know.
And what did they do? They did like his best moments. They did a few like 3D replicas of him, like illustrations of him. Or
That's
something,
it.
yeah?
It's like it was almost like if you.
I say this.
You know,
I actually own one of these things, so why I'm actually acting like I don't know what he's on about. We do, but yeah, they did a few different.
So they did like a tiered
styles.
base drop. So it was like diamond, platinum, gold, green.
Yeah.
And different editions of each. And they were like figurines, basically, like 3D renders of figurines of moments that he had. And the way it works was eBay dropped them. You had to buy them on eBay via PayPal. And then once you'd bought them, it sent you a link to your PayPal, to your eBay email address, where you would basically use that link, click that link, funnily enough, take you to one of. You like that one, did you? Yeah. Where you claim the NFT. So it was actually quite seamless. It seemed a bit pointless because I feel like it could have just been done on one-offs. Yeah. And I don't really, other than the fact that eBay hosted it, I don't really see how, like it was labeled as their Genesis collection. It wasn't really. It was kind of another collection for Sports Illustrated. It was just eBay trying to basically step their feet.
I mean, they need to get in. I think it makes complete sense. Like, it didn't seem weird to me. That was quite actually exciting that a brand like that was jumping in.
Oh, mate, it's huge
so
news,
cool.
isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm glad we got in on that. And
that's
I'm
gonna
excited to see where that goes. Really,
that's gonna bring so many. Well, when people realize it, like that, in theory, that should bring so many more people into the space. I don't think it will, because people will be like, "What is that?" Because we're not there yet. People don't. Like we've said a million times, just because we're in the space. We have this feeling like that it's moving really quick, but
when realistically the sentiment's not even strong on it. Like,
you chat to your mates or your dad or something, and you're like, well, he's like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah, when you get your dad to buy an NFT.
I think my dad has some.
What?
Yeah, I got them for him.
Does he have a wallet or what?
No, he doesn't have a wallet yet.
So you hold them for him?
No, I hold some for him, yeah.
What have you got for him?
Just some stuff, mate.
Doodles.
I don't know.
Invisible friends.
Imagine, yeah.
Big Jeff.
I should try and get him to get one.
Yeah, you should, man. Yeah, okay. Well, following on from that then, LimeWire. Do you remember LimeWire? The torrent platform back in the day?
Yeah.
I can imagine you torrented some like crazy shit on that back in the day.
Right?
Sorry, I'm a bit savage.
No. I do remember that.
But anyway, LimeWire.
I haven't used it for years.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't even think it still existed. Like, I was really, really surprised when I saw that they're making moves. They're basically collaborating with Universal Music, which is a music label.
Music.
Yeah, I know. That's a classic like end of video segue into music. I can't help myself. But anyway, they're collaborating with LimeWire.
Yeah. Is LimeWire still a thing?
In case you didn't know, by the way, Universal's like one of the major record labels. There's three of them.
I didn't.
Okay, well, they've got like one of the biggest artists in the world. But they're collaborating with LimeWire to launch another NFT platform.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so let me just make sure I'm right in what I'm saying here, but not on it's not on LimeWire. LimeWire is becoming a platform now. They're obviously LimeWire's dead and buried, gone. Obviously,
is it though?
Well, I assumed it was.
How's it cropping up?
It's clearly not a big brand. It clearly must have existed technically still.
That was brilliant as a kid, though, wasn't it? Do you remember that? I remember all the hip hop songs I'd be like trying to download to put on my little.
There we go. I knew you were going to give me some kind of little anecdote about what you used to download. I actually got a letter. My dad got a letter. Did you know?
Really?
But yeah, back when.
What about torrenting it?
Yeah, and thankfully it was nothing dodgy or anything like that. But like it was. I think I just downloaded some movie or something like that, like Mission Impossible or something. Something like really bland. But bro, we got like a letter from the internet service provider sent to the house being like cease and desist. Like we've like seen you've downloaded this movie. They like listed the file name using the service. Anyway, so yeah, that was jokes. It didn't really stop us.
Mate, I remember the feeling of getting my my first iPod like back in the day, basically when it was like the first edition of it. You know, the fat ones. The fat one came out, the chunky one.
Yeah,
and putting
torrent music and
I loved it. It was so sick.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, since then.
Anyway, so clearly LimeWire, no one has. So it was a bit shocked to them coming back, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they're doing a marketplace. They're doing it aimed for music artists, really, like because of their LimeWire's background in music. Universal, obviously, music label. They're offering it to their artists first and foremost.
Yeah.
As a marketplace to bring more like mainstream stuff into it. So they're listing in dollars, which is again very similar to one of. So this is why I was like, I swear I've heard of like loads of people doing this at the moment. But I mean, listen, it's going to do something for mainstream adoption. Put it that way. If there's multiple platforms listing in dollars, it's going to do something.
Well, it is, yeah.
It's going to do something for mainstream adoption.
It's like the main barrier to entry. People don't like. There's so much bad press around cryptocurrencies that.
Yeah, literally. I mean, so this is effectively another like music aimed NFT marketplace. But there's from our last video last week we talked about Royal.io. Remember the one the Chainsmokers had used for their project?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I know you like mentioning that band, but there we go. Moving on from that quick.
George's favourite band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just another one basically.
They're popping up left, right, and centre. It's going to be way too much.
They are popping off left, right, and centre, man. And
they're going to have to do something revolutionary though to outcompete. It's just going to become this thing of who can iterate on the product better and who like makes a better version of that product.
Yeah, because I think particularly with music artists at the moment, there's a lot like they're actually the artists are adopting the space quite quickly.
Yeah.
Music artists do seem to be quite forward thinking in the fact that they're trying to do Web3 orientated stuff.
Well, it's just so like there's just so much instant rewards coming from this for them.
I can completely understand it. Again, we made this point in our last video. Do go and watch it because we had a real good section on artist NFT projects and why it could be really good if you're an up and coming artist for your career. So I completely understand why artists are jumping in, but it's unfortunately giving NFTs and like pushing the negative like narrative for NFTs. There was because a lot of artists are doing it not like natively, they're doing it as a cash grab, and so like there's so many.
Usually that's going to be the bigger artists as well.
Well, it is, mate. I've got like literally I'm not going to say his name, but very well known DJ, like literally one of the top DJs, has done a project recently. Not Steve Aoki, but another one. Like respect Steve Aoki. Did an NFT drop recently, and it just felt instantly like a cash grab. And I'll tell you why, because the project that he actually dropped was tokens that gave you access to his future stuff. So it wasn't even like an NFT.
It was basically for him.
It was basically,
for him to make money so that you could buy his other stuff.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, that happens. Don't get me wrong, that is a trope in the space. And there's examples of projects that have done that really well. Like, there's Relic Pass and others where you're buying a pass. Yeah. But that's generally effective when they've set out what's to come and you know why you're buying that. Like, you're excited to buy that because you want the stuff that they're going to be dropping in the future because you know what it is and you know it's going to be good.
Yeah. And there's perceived value for the buyer.
Yeah. So this particular DJ put this stuff up for sale and it was just like, buy this token because it's going to give you early access for stuff I'm going to do in the future. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, it's a utility based project effectively. So it wasn't obviously about the art.
Utility
but it was just like, for stuff I'm going to do in the future, but I haven't told you what I'm going to do in the future. So, he said he'd got an NFT drop coming up, but that was literally the max of it. And I was looking at his post on Twitter, and there was people underneath it just being like, "You've just lost a 25-year long."
Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you know
losing fans because of it?
But do you know what it is? Yeah, I feel like that approach, which is greedy, because this is a gold rush phase right now, as I've been saying. Like people are just want to make money and are coming in to make money. But that as a play, I feel from a greedy perspective would work into the future when more people have adopted it. Like I think because they'd be like that's just like a him releasing something saying like, I don't know, win this or buy this thing that's going to give you access to, I don't know, my merch drops or something like that. But his core fan base can't be into NFTs right now.
Yeah, again, it's
just... So the Web3 space are going to look at that and just be like, what are you doing?
I mean, they often talk about artists being like 2 years ahead of their audience in terms of music taste. That's like a quote that's thrown around.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
you? Connoisseur.
Oh, yeah, you know, mate. Ahead of the times. You know when like an artist you like drops their album and for a minute you're like, oh, this is like different. I'm not sure how I like this. I wish I hadn't changed the sound. They need to go back to the old sound. So... because the artist is ahead of where you're at as an audience because they know what they're developing next, etc. I do think this is an example of it again, where artists and fair play. I think ultimately overall it's a good thing, but the artists are ahead of their audience in terms of Web3 adoption.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sell Web3 products to to their audience who don't give a shit about them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And unfortunately, because take this as an example. It wasn't done in a particularly in a way that's particularly empathetic to the
Do you know what?
space or native.
That just comes down to having your feet on the ground.
Literally.
And like navigating the space yourself and understanding it, because you wouldn't do something like that if you knew exactly, if you were participating in it actively and you knew where it was at.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, then it just gets labelled with the cash grab, and I don't really blame them, to be honest with you. So it's unfortunate.
I mean, I haven't seen
this guy's lost. He's now lost fans.
I know who you're on
because
about there.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate.
But
there's before we quickly move on from this, there's an example from last week's video, and I think this is why they did it. Like, fair play to them. Chainsmokers did their release for free. What, you laugh every time I mention the Chainsmokers, bro. But it's a great example of it. They did it for free, so like nobody could. They did it for free, and they gave the royalties to the songwriters, who generally get shafted for a deal anyway.
Oh, we love the Chainsmokers, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, who do you like them, bro? Who's in the NFT space that we've got for examples?
What, music ones?
Yeah, go on.
I don't know.
Lo-Fi
Any music
Guy.
ones out?
Lo-Fi Guy.
Lo-Fi Guy's fucking sick.
Yeah, Tompa Beats. Gonna drop his NFT
Tompa
project
Beats
soon.
isn't.
Hit this man up and he'll help you drop a project soon. So that's a really interesting one.
Another interesting one though, in the music space, is Ringo Starr. You know,
that is not who I expected you to say.
Does it not?
Well, no. Are you a big Beatles fan?
No, not at all. But like, actually, hang on. I wouldn't say I'm a big Beatles fan, but I respect them, I do like them. I do listen to them. Yeah, I have to. It's not like my main genre of music that I like, but
that's just not what I expected you to say when you said you would.
I just think it's sick because he's come out and said, like, basically he's made like these artworks, and he's like, obviously he's the drummer for the Beatles, or was the drummer for the Beatles, for whoever doesn't know, and he's coming out with a few, like, not a collection, but like a few NFTs that he's auctioning off that is basically a drum solo or something that he's composed and written himself attached to it.
Was like looping music?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, but it's basically like 3D animated artwork. I think maybe not 3D, but it's animated artwork, and he's to the sound of him drumming, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, here it says, so he's auctioning off 5 pieces starting at $1,000. There's only going to be 5, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, just by the fact that you just said there's 5 pieces, that feels a little bit more native.
I think I read something as well about John Lennon's son made some of his dad's memorabilia into an NFT, and it went for crazy money.
Mad.
I think I read that. Might not be true, but
we should just start making up stories on here. Yeah. We need to verify the stuff we're talking about, man. Yeah, just start dropping stuff out. I don't know, make some shit up.
No, but I'm pretty sure.
That's a complete lie. He's made that up. Don't believe a word he says. Cool though.
No, that is cool though.
Cool though. I mean, yeah, listen, some artists are getting it right, some are getting it wrong.
Well, it just shows there's more and more people trying to get in, and we're excited about it. And,
cool. Let's round up a few more things, and we're done. So, sorry, I thought you'd give me side eye then.
No, I wasn't giving you side eye.
Popping your head there, enjoying yourself.
I was actually.
Ethereum name service, again, touched on this last week, coming back. Literally since we did last week, Gucci and Hublot have come out and claimed their names. So that's 2 more big fashion brands.
That's quite mad, actually. I tried to look whose wallet actually had the Gucci.eth. And in that wallet, they also had like Gucci Verse and Gucci Vault.eth. So they bought those 2 things. So I was like, I need to get them.
We should have checked out how much Gucci bought their name for.
Have we told them your news?
I don't know.
He sold Crypo Steve for $2 million.
Oh, come on. Get the hell out of here. We gave
Get out of here, mate.
We gave that 1 episode's worth of time, bro. We don't need to bring up Crypo Steven. He's hidden from my wallet.
He's never going.
It's the end of the story.
I want like a blow up of him.
You wait the day I come back and I've actually sold Crypo Steven.
Crypo.
For like, I don't even give a shit whether it's like $100 or like fucking $5.
You're not selling
I'm going to come back with a madness, bro. I'm going to sold it for ETH, and you're going to write me a letter of apology.
Is it still up for an ETH?
No, it's not. It's up for 0.05. What it was.
0.05?
Yeah. it's hidden from my wallet. So I actually don't know if does hiding an NFT from your wallet take it off listing?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, it's not like anybody's going to search for Crypo Steven, is it? Is it really? You know? So,
no, definitely
listen,
not.
I'm going to figure that one out. The comeback is on, and you're going to write me a letter of apology.
But going back to it then, Gucci getting Gucci.eth and Hublot. Is that how you say it? Hublot?
Hublot, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, .eth. Even more bullish on the ENS names.
So Americans, sorry about that. Is it Hublot? Hublot?
I'll call it Hublot. But yeah, .eth and Vogue Business. There was an article in Vogue Business that said, like brand, whatever your brand's name is, .eth is going to become the new whatever your name is,
huge.
.com.
Huge.
So, I mean, it's a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not huge that they've said it. It's not that that's going to change anything, but it just shows how the kind of
it's just like changing. Buying them up, bro.
No, it just shows like that they're acknowledging that. You know, they can see that the culture is shifting. So super interesting. Right, I think that's about everything for news.
Apart from GameStop's coming out with some non-custodial wallet. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Who cares?
It's not what I thought you were going to say. Did you buy any of the in the meme stock? Did you buy any of that?
Did you?
No,
I bet you did. Did you?
No, I didn't at all. I was watching it. I was like, "What is going on here?"
I feel like they've got an audience of like half investors, half gamers. The gaming world doesn't want NFTs right now, predominantly, and like the investors really like it's a bit of a meme. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's news. They're coming out with some non-custodial wallet that's going to be accessible via a private key, basically kind of like MetaMask. So. Again, it's a layer 2 solution built on top of Ethereum's blockchain. So lower gas fees or none at all, I think I've seen. So that is a pro, but still loads of people are doing this, like we're saying. So it's really going to be who can iterate the best version.
Who can do it better, basically.
Exactly.
They'll be the ones that stick around. Cool. Project Roundup.
Boom. So
Chimpers went well.
Yeah. Wow. Chimpers went well if you basically just got whitelisted. If you'd have done what we said and bought the tea back, purely on
our last episode, by the way, go back and check that one out.
100%. Purely on like a flipping mentality, then you wouldn't have done too great because it hovered around. I mean, I think it's like 1.9 ETH now, maybe today. But it was like 3 ETH or something at some point, and the mint was only 0.07, so that did well. I'm not surprised, to be honest, but it did do well. Something huge at the moment that's like really kind of viral on Twitter and OpenSea and doing volume on OpenSea is Goblin Town.
Yeah.
Now, nobody knows who's behind it yet. It was a free mint. There's rumours that Yuga Labs are behind it, but no one actually really knows. And it's literally pumped from a free mint. Today, it was at 2.09 ETH. It might even be up more now, but it's very volatile. And I checked out the site, and the site is sick. It's like proper little goblins, like going like really like that, like that noise, and then it's like chains in the background, like chung, like this, like chung, and there's like, like that. Really, it's really weird.
I'm sampling that for a beat.
And then it's like, enter the fucking thing already or something. It's basically taking the piss out of the state of the market. It's doing really well. So the people behind it, just for the state of the website and kind of the way it's been put out there, seem to know what they've been doing. So who knows who's behind it, but definitely people in the space, and it's just one to watch. But it's it is a complete degen play, and at this point, I feel like it's too risky to get in.
That's from 3 to like nearly 3.
Yeah, I mean, like yesterday it was like I saw it at 0.5, and it was 2.09 today.
Mad.
Should have bought it.
Yeah, I mean, degen. That's a degen play from 0.5. If it's free, if you get on the free, then I do.
But people are saying, it's risky at 0.5. So, who knows?
So, what about Tripping Ape?
So, like, another Solana project that's doing bits, doing volume. It was up there. Do you know what? I personally don't like these just derivative projects. Really, like, I don't like. They're just really unoriginal in my mind. Like, come up with your own concept, but it's just even more bullish towards this Solana summer. Like there's more Solana projects that are actually doing better at the moment. Until Goblin Town came out, I think Solana was just beating Ethereum in volume, and now Goblin Town's come back, taking the lead for all the ETH fans,
namely Jack Griffin Parry.
But yeah, I mean, check that one out. It's doing mad volume. It's around like 50 to 60 Sol at the minute, which is still like 2+ K, I think. And yeah, the other one that I think disappointed a few people was the KIF Friends, just only because of the floor price. I mean, it pumped up to like an ETH, but it was $1,000 to mint it. So, but do you know what? Yeah. So I posted a reel today about, as you know, about kind of the fashion industry and NFTs, and that's quite exciting to me, just for like kind of a love of streetwear.
I thought it was a really good point you made in that.
But I think if you look at I'll go into KIF Friends in a minute. Basically, what KIF Friends did was they collabed with Invisible Friends. They created these characters that in Invisible Friends format, and they dressed them in KIF clothing. Yeah. And the owners of these are basically going to get the whole outfit that character's wearing in, I think it's like 2023 though, which is long to wait. But what's cool is that character is then going to evolve and his outfit's going to change. So when that outfit changes, the holder is going to get early access to those drops on top of it. So my main point was, when it comes to the streetwear like market, there's two things that I think are fundamental to that culture. And one is collectability, and two is like the reselling side of things. And I think instead of like for resellers having to like pay people to queue up or like have bots to like try and get some like Supreme drop or something like that, if they came out with an NFT that basically gave you access to every drop before everyone else, well, then that's going to be a reseller's dream for a start, because they know that they can get those clothes, flip them, depending on how much the NFT is. And also, going back to their ticketing thing with like memorable moments being a thing, like collectibles, well, memorable drops will be collectibles. Yeah. So you're almost like, it is like a reseller's dream. So like when they start realizing that and coming in, and brands really innovate and do new things about how they can integrate clothing with NFTs, I think
that really clicked for me actually after we talked about that reel.
Yeah.
But I think it was clever from Invisible Friends actually, because they've really cemented some utility into that project.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were having a discussion, and I was particularly kind of voicing the opinion that I'd seen founders of PFP projects tweet, like I've seen a few do it, where they tweeted, what kind of utility do you guys want to see?
Yeah.
And it just felt like, obviously they're trying to listen to their audience and get feedback from the audience, but when you're literally just a profile picture project, just an artwork based project, it feels like that's a bit of an airy fairy kind of question, really, because it's like, what kind of utility could you get? Because there's no substance past the artwork to this brand. It's not like, the obvious utility would be like, access to future projects and whatever, discounts and white spots. Cool, but that's very, very like single use, very, very narrow to the project and whatever. So by Invisible Friends collaborating with a clothing brand,
that's huge.
Yeah. I think that's a very clever way that they've cemented utility within their project.
100%. I think people need to be aware though that for these particularly like art-based, like predominantly art-based projects that have like future things, they still have a roadmap and like things coming out before people go into them. Is like Invisible Friends couldn't have promised that collab with KIF until they'd minted out and had the hype around it. So it's like some of the utility is based on whether you believe that they can deliver after it's minted out. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you believe that this is a project that is going to keep giving to you and try to keep giving to you, then that is also a thing, because things will happen after it's minted, because they're going to have more capital to play with and more awareness.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like you said, the implications for fashion brands in the future, I just think it's huge. When we were talking about that, I was just like, oh, you're so right, because I can just see so many more jumping on that, and I can see that being like the new norm for fashion brands. I can see that being 100%
without a doubt.
Every designer brand dropping a new line is going to drop the NFTs side by side with it.
Drops is such a thing now. Like it is such a, like having drops, like brands drop things all the time. Yeah. like particularly in streetwear. So it's like you're getting double the value by giving them an NFT, because if they want to buy that anyway, if you find a way to just drop like singular items like a t-shirt, if you had your whole range in different NFTs, well then like the more hyped items of that drop, you're going to own the NFT as well. So like whether you sold the thing, I don't know, man. I feel like there's loads to come with that, but it's exciting. And to me, the floor price on that doesn't dictate how futuristic and innovative it is, and it's sick.
Completely. So cool. Sounds like a good place to leave it then.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
I think that was a good one.
There we go. Round up. NFT Party episode 2. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate if you've kind of watched all the way through this and stuck with us.
Actually, next week we've got a guest.
Oh shit!
We
can talk about this now.
Yeah, we've got a guest coming on next week.
We should talk about this.
Carry on then.
Well, no, I was going to say, as you were literally just saying, I was getting excited. We have got the first guest coming on the podcast, who is a mod on Like Island, a guy called
Nick Corey.
There we go.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine that I met through Discord, basically. He's a really nice guy, and he's going to chat about, we're going to ask him stuff about how like you get into being a mod, like what it's like, what they expect from you, whitelist, like how you get whitelist, the best way to go about it, the do's and don'ts, all of that stuff. He's a really nice guy, so make sure you subscribe and get notified for when that
we'll still be doing like our usual kind of chat.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of be splitting this half and half between usual kind of like news roundup chat and then interviewing Nick.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty hype. So subscribe, share this with your friends, and we'll see you there.
Later, bro. Nice.